Programs as old as me, which is that golden 50 kanalima. Not a day goes by that I don't ever come across students in Keiki who are now makua and adults, who might also now have children going through the program.
So when you think about being part of a lahui, that means having a shared sense of identity, a shared sense of what it means to be Hawaii. Our values, our language, our culture, even our practices. As we think about our strategic plan, our vision for the future in creating global and local leaders through Hawaiian culture-based education, this kind of program and the likes of Hawaiian culture-based education, including Aina-based education, will all contribute to that. I don't think that there can be a time in our history where Hawaiian culture-based education will not contribute to our lahui. It simply is the core piece that we need that helps our lahui move forward.
When we first came over from Molokaʻi, I never expected it to go anywhere beyond just that.
Well, the mo'olelo begins with John White, a kumu, a teacher here at Kamehameha Schools, who was teaching summer school on the island of Molokaʻi in 1965 at the Kilohana School. And one of the things he learned was those children had never been off the island, had never seen things here on Oahu. He arranges for them to stay at the Kapalama Kamehameha campus, and they get to do exciting things like riding an escalator for the first time, going up and down the glass elevator at the Ilikai Hotel, and just getting the sights and the experiences that they had never had on the island of Molokaʻi. His idea caught on, and in 1968, the program officially begins. Initially, it was for the neighbor islands and rural areas of Oahu. It then starts to take on that Hawaiian cultural focus. Some of those that stand out for me in the very early years are Fred Kachola, who was the head of the Extension Education Division of Kamehameha Schools, whose primary focus was community versus the campus. Dr. Donald Kilolani Mitchell did a lot to keep Hawaiian culture alive and thriving. Auntie Nona Beamer was also a kumu here at the campus, so many of the teachers at the time were also kumu in the program, and many, many more.
Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi literally means to travel about, to go on these excursions, yeah, and that's the idea, I think, when it was first born. And from that, it evolved into not just going on an excursion, but also that notion of exploration. What does it mean to be Hawaiian? Where do we thrive best as Hawaiians? And so this notion and idea of taking our keiki and putting them actually into the Aina.
We know that only a small fraction of Hawaiian children are able to attend Kamehameha schools, but a far larger number were touched and continue to be touched by this program, Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi. It's Sunday, they're checking in, and they're 11-year-olds just out of the 5th grade. They come from all over. That check-in day, Sunday, typically some keiki would be crying because they're gonna miss their ohana. For some, it was their first time away from home, and one of the things we tried to do was get the ohana to say goodbye as soon as they can, and off they go, and we take care of their keiki as if they were our own. Speed forward to the end of the week's program on Friday evening, and we're doing ho'olaulea, singing the songs they've learned, doing the hula they've learned, demonstrating some of the knowledge and skills that they've learned. And at the end of the ho'olaulea program, when their ohana come to get them, they're crying, some of them again, but this time for a different reason. Now they're crying because they don't want to go home. It's just a joy being staff to see that happen.
If Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi was really serving as that foundational program that our native Hawaiian keiki were coming to their culture, we thought that creating very authentic learning experiences out on the Aina was a big part of what we wanted the program to be about. I know we've made quite a bit of evolution, over the last 10 years. The core of it was trying to maintain a lot of the rich legacy and rich experiences that the program had in place. At the time, we were really exploring how to get learners out more on the Aina and how to get them in various communities to do natural, more experiential learning and utilizing our Kamehameha School lands as the main venue for the learning experiences. The biggest change, and it was a very massive change for us operationally, was really seeing how we can get 300 learners a week, 1,800 learners over the course of the summer, out daily into various sites in our communities to do a lot of the cultural practices, place-based learning and understandings, and engaging with community practitioners. Certainly, as you scale up, the operational pressures mount up, but I think delivering and meeting the interests of our community is a key success. It is unique in that, as a learner, you're in and around and immersed into a learning environment and a living environment that is richly and deeply Hawaiian.
Before I came to Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi, really I didn't know that much about my culture. This experience has helped make me feel a lot more comfortable learning about this kind of stuff because I always used to get bullied. When I would try to talk to my friends, they would always tell me, no, you can't be Hawaiian, you don't look it. But then when I actually got to go to Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi, I was able to realize that I was Hawaiian because people accepted me for what I was on the inside, not for what I was on the outside.
Kupuna, our elders, they were always a very special part of Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi. They represented a time, a generation or generations in the past. Just their presence, their ano, the way they carried themselves, those were ways through observation on the part of staff as well as keiki, we could learn from our kupuna.
The relationships are key in Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi. I never really had kupuna growing up. My grandmother died when I was very young. So when I participated in the program and met Auntie Moana, she treated me like a grandson. That was something that was very special. Even though I was an employee, she was my supervisor, she was my kumu, she treated me like a grandson. So she would chide me like a grandson, she would nuku me like a grandson, she would tell me what I was doing right, and she would definitely tell me what I was doing wrong. And I really appreciated her. And so when people saw us interact, they would say, oh, Auntie Moana, she doesn't really like you, yeah? She always yells at you, she always does this and that. And I'd say, oh no, that's how she expresses her love, because she loves me like a grandson.
You didn't expect this. Hi,
Auntie Mo.
how are you?
How are you?
I'm still a bit kicking.
Yeah, I know.
A little slower.
Pilina, our relationships. It's a common experience that tens of thousands of keiki have gotten in over 50 years that is a common connector. And that's a beautiful thing because it takes them back to an experience that brings a smile to their face.
The greatest lesson we've learned is how valuable Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi is to our families and to our communities when we see multiple generations coming back and remembering that experience and wanting that experience for their own keiki and their own mo'opuna. I think it shows the true value that our own communities have and their desire to want to increase or connect with who they are as Hawaii.
I think my heart will always be with Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi. I'm really proud that we're taking this time to remember this golden anniversary. Remember all the hearts and hands that had a part in this program. There's so many. And one of the amazing things that to me is that when you look around within the organization at Kamehameha schools, a lot of our leaders today were touched by Hoʻomākaʻikaʻi, either as a staff member of the program or as a leader and administrator of it. That's what makes it real to me. That's the indicator of success in cultural vibrancy. As that old adage goes, we've come a long way, baby. We can feel proud and know that our future is in good hands. And e ola ka lāhui.